You go and get a dollar.
I've been in South Florida for 8 days, so it's perfect. You got me on? Yeah, I like to wear the headphones.
And you've been sitting much too long, much too
You're not
long.
on.
I am, I hear you. I hear you too. Yours is
Now I hear that.
Yeah, okay. Leave it alone, don't touch nothing. Get out, get out.
Happy New Year to Gwen and Big John.
Happy New Year to you.
I want to pray for Larry.
Big John's gonna pray for Larry.
We need to pray for Big John. And all of his listeners. Amen, amen, hallelujah. Anyway, welcome. Oh, you're blocking it. Look at you, you're blocking it. Oh my God, this whole day. What am I going to do with this guy? Anyway, welcome. Oh gosh, you know, I said to you guys in the last show that 2013 would be a joyous time. A great time, a wonderful time, an awesome time.
Medication.
So, yes. Yes, welcome. Welcome to Truth the Radio program designed with you in mind. The program's sole purpose is to empower you, our listeners, for information, leads knowledge. Knowledge is power. And as always, we want to empower you to take control of your life, those things that impact you, your family, and your community. As always, too, we want you to go to the website at www.gwen-truth.com so you can access all of those resource listings that will lead you to and link you to the information that will make you all powerful. And that's information on municipalities, the county agencies, state agencies, federal agencies, and advocacy groups. Also, go there so you can take part in our survey that we have going, and the survey query is asking you if you agree that the age at which you would sign up for Medicare, which is currently 65, should be increased to 67. So go in and chime in on that query and answer that question. I don't really hear myself right now.
Yeah, you're on. You're
okay,
on.
wonderful. I guess
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's good. It's good.
I told Betty that I thought that we should just kick off this new year of 2013 with she and I doing a show together, because it's been a while actually since we've done a show together. And when I wasn't her guest and she wasn't, you know, but we do a show together and doing those, what?
They're fine. Big John Sam's working.
Okay.
He's listening. He's listening.
Yes, anyway, she and I, you know, we're like soul sisters. I mean, soul, body, soul, you know, type thing. And we have been since the beginning. And I know you guys remember, she shared that story about how we first met and actually connected from the first time that we got together. And we've been really working together with her helping out on the radio show since that time. And it has just been an awesome, wonderful, joyful relationship. And the good thing is that I try to at least once a month I have Betty on so that she can, you know, either do Feng Shui or something else related to that she deals with in terms of helping you guys to get your body and your soul, mental and physical state as it should be. And we're talking about, the show is about empowering you. So if you want to be empowered, you've got to have mind, body, soul connected. You've got to be as one. And that's what, through what she does and through what I do and we do together, we've been attempting to do that. And Betty, I was sharing with them, I've been doing this for 6 years. I'm now starting my 7th year.
Congratulations.
Oh, isn't this awesome?
You know what? I started my company the same way, Gwen.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, congratulations. My company started. Yep. So now is the real season where you're really going to grow and prosper, because it takes about 6 years to get things really flowing and moving.
Awesome.
It's a good year for the rat girl.
Now, we're gonna call Betty on some things though, because, she said last year, about the year of the woman and all that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was thinking as I was coming over here, and as much as you work with me to try to help me get elected as mayor of Daytona Beach, whatever. But we ran a good race, everything turned out, even though we didn't win, it really, so much positive stuff happened. I met people who are now really they're lifelong friends. I really and truly got more in touch with me, and family got closer together. Every one of my family members, actually, with the exception of maybe my one niece who, she works for the Department of Education in New York. And she's always taking the trip. When she takes a trip like to Haiti or something like that, where she can give up her time, etc. So, but she was the only family member that did not come and get involved in my campaign, so they could see firsthand what was involved with it, and they all felt so sorry for me afterwards because of the way, the treatment and everything in terms of some of the campaign stuff that went on. But despite all of that, I think all of us have become much closer because they have a better idea about what I'm about, which is giving back, truly giving back to people. And so all of that, despite the non-win, it was all in truth a positive and eye-opening experience. So that I really enjoyed. And in terms of you saying more women would be going into office, more women did. More women were
and
elected.
they will be. And the thing with you, Gwen, last year is you sat in an illness star. So you had a lot to overcome last year.
Yeah.
This year you'll sit in a double one, which is about your career. So if you were to run for an office this year, just like when people would say to me about Romney and Obama, even though you knew I was for Obama, I said, Romney doesn't have a chance. And they said, why? I said, he's sitting at 7. President Obama was sitting in a 9, which meant future wealth. So I knew that he would win. With you, you were sitting in a 2. A 2 is illness. So and you were sitting directly across from a 1. So that means that you had double conflict going on. So though it is the year of, the woman is going to go into, women are going to be in office. They are going to be more powerful and more predominant, especially in the political arena where mostly men dominate, because it's time for us. That's what this year is all about. This year is about the water snake. I'm a water snake.
Oh, right. Now, you said last year, I'm just want to make sure I got this straight. Now, last year was the rat or no?
No. Last year was the water dragon.
Oh, okay.
The water
you
dragon.
said that, water dragon.
Right. And the water dragon is your friend. So the water dragon came to sit beside you, but the water dragon was in trouble last year because the sector that it fell into, it means the energy. Whenever you're involved with your year, you usually have certain types of energy that you have to deal with, because there's an energy called the Grand Duke. So whenever the Grand Duke sits in your sector, you don't have the best year, but you have a decent year. Well, the reason that the dragon did better this year is because it's a water dragon, but it really could not sit in its own sector. And see, you're a water. You sit in a water element, and the dragon and I sit in wood, so we build you. That's why we get along so well, because I build you up. You give, what you do for me is you make me grow, I make you grow. But this year, every single, you got it? Yep, perfect. Bye, Big John. This year,
What is he?
I don't know what year
One
he's
is
born.
that you gonna check.
I think he might be an off. He might. I don't know what he is. He's never asked me to check his chart. But this year, Gwen, every sector, which means, the rat all the way around, there's 9 sectors. Every sector has a double star, and you're going to sit in a double 1. Straight across from you is the horse, which is Larry.
Larry, hear that, Big John?
Larry's a horse, and he's going to sit in a 9, which is future wealth. But you together equal a sum of 10, and that's all new beginnings for you guys.
Oh,
And it's really good. And on your right.
And really and truly, it's like, this is
And
the
that's really what you're
yes,
talking about.
And I tell you, I said that this year would be new beginnings. I said that because I have run for office for like 7 years, and we were going into the 8th year, new beginnings. And you never know. You never know what it is that God totally has for you. I know that He's the one that directed me to run, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you never know that end result, is it going to be a win, or is it going to be a win in other ways? You know, or are you doing it for you? Are you doing it to help others? And I've always done it to help others, but there are others that are being helped and impacted as a result of it that I don't even know anything about. But I have to not assume, because I know we say about, but I have to know without a doubt that good comes out of it. Good comes out of what we do when we do it for the Lord.
Exactly, and just to do it the way you did it was the most important thing, because women will follow you. They won't be so afraid to go out. And the beauty of your sector this year is on the right side of you sits a 6-star, and on the left side of you sits an 8-star. And what that really means to you is it means wealth, popularity, and prosperity. So if you were to say you wanted to run for a certain office this year, there's a very good chance that you would be successful, and a very good chance, depending on when you sign up, you know, what's going on during that year. So all the animals of the Chinese zodiac this year are doubly strong, because they're every sector, like you're a 1 and I'm a 4. There's a double 1 in you, there's a double 4 in me. And every sector across from themselves, like the rooster and the rabbit, they're in a lot of trouble this year. And they had a good year last year. They're not going to have a really good year next year. But they also have the sum of 10. I'm in a 4. Across from me is a 6. That's a sum of 10. So the energy is moving. The water snake is, I wrote it down because this is who I am, and I love it.
And that's why she's here, to share this good stuff with us,
but
guys.
the water snake is going to be, there's going to be such a shift in energy. The snake loves wealth. The snake is never poor, no matter what a snake. Now you got to remember, if you're an element of earth, that doesn't mean you're going to have the best year, because it's a water element. So wood and water elements and metal elements are going to be extremely powerful. So if you look at the resources of those elements, those are the things that are going to prosper. But it's going to be the qualities that I have are influential, motivated, insightful, and highly intelligent. We work well with others, and we enjoy being recognized and rewarded. But we don't talk about ourselves personally to others that we don't trust. And that's what's really going to kind of happen this year. Where there is a water snake, there hasn't been a water snake here since I was born.
Oh, wow.
So this is the first time in 60 years. So those are the qualities that are going to be most predominant. And the snake sits in the wealth sector, so there's going to be a lot of wealth coming our way. And a lot of love, because the number 4 is prominent. So the quality of is, and you know, to me, wealth isn't just about, I was just down in South Florida where,
Material.
you know, oh my gosh, I mean, every other corner was 6 Bentleys, and, you know, my client has a lot of money, so we were in and out of all these stores, but, you know, the greatest wealth to me is the ability to be on purpose, and that's what women need to do. Women need to quit being slaves. They need to quit being silent. They need to realize that it's time to speak out, even if the men don't appreciate us, because it's time to break our silence. Not to be mean to the men,
Right.
but to speak out in terms of who we are and what we're to do. And see, Gwen, you could never lose, because that's what you do. And so you are a strong leader. That's what the rat is the first animal that came to Buddha when he sat. You know, the zodiac came through. Buddha sitting quietly asking God, what am I to do? And the animals appeared, and that's how come he made the Chinese zodiac. You were the very first animal that came to him. And your purpose really is to go out and succeed spiritually. This is your sector. And in your career, which you have done in both. You are extremely spiritual. You ran a very clean and spiritual campaign. And you're excellent at whatever you do. So you're a 4th runner for us women. So you didn't lose at all. You just said, here I am. I'm going to take the courage to be a woman. I'm going to run for mayor. But I guarantee, Gwen, you've got another purpose than that. You're not finished in the political arena, especially according to your chart this year. You are definitely not finished. When you've got a future wealth sitting straight across from you, you can't be done. There's something that's going to happen. I don't know what your goals are or what your vision is, but there is something that's going to happen to you this year that's going to be good. Because the year of 2013 is about love. And the woman emanates. I love this saying. Watch out, men. You cannot turn blood into milk, a woman can. You know, God made us extremely strong. And you know, the key for women today is to relax, to trust God, to be patient, to know that He is your greatest love. He will never let you down. And not to be afraid to stand by yourself as a woman. Men have stood by themselves and, you know, they're not looked down upon, but we women who don't marry or decide not to do that, we are. And it's a time where we're going to grow. Because water snakes are very successful in business. We are. Oprah Winfrey's a water snake. Audrey Hepburn she wasn't a water snake, she was a snake, she was a wood snake. So it's gonna be a different time of years. Now, will there be some conflicts? Of course, but nothing like this year. Nothing like this year. And Barack Obama, he has a double 8. Him and Michelle are both Oxes. He has a double 8. So we're going to look forward to a really good year for the President of the United States and the First Lady. They're going to do some extremely wonderful things for us and the world. You know, and the world. So I'm very excited. And he sits right next to you, you know, and that's the 8. Wherever you see an 8, it's the infinity sign of God. Always, never ending, beginning and never ending. And that's where he sits this year. So I knew he was going to win without a doubt.
Yes, and you've said that continually. You know, my guest that I had on last week, who was Bishop Sam Buzz, I was sharing with him about I don't know if you've been in the stores, like I was in a toy store and I was buying gifts for my young, my niece's daughters and her son. And I brought the younger son, who is a baby. I mean, I think he's about maybe 8 months or something, 8 or 9 months. But I brought him something called an angry bird, only because it was a small. And then I'm driving by, you know, right across, there's a hamburger whatever place across from, on Bevel, across from Walmart. And they have an angry burger. And I was sitting, getting my nails done. Look, guys, you know, this is the gold. You see that gold thing? Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? But I was bold enough to do it this time. But I was sitting there, and the son of one of the managers there was playing this game with one of the customers, and you know what he was playing? Angry Birds.
Angry Birds.
And what happened to love? You know, like, and I was sharing with a guy, Van, who does my nails, and I was saying, you know, what happened to the time when we had peace? You know, the 60s, so the time of peace. And now we're into angry, you know, and we're wondering, like, what the heck is going on? Well, we need to get over that, so I am really, really, really delighted to hear you say that this will be a year of love, because you know, the word says that love covers all things, all sins, etc., etc. So hopefully it will cover all of the anger that's out there, because Lord knows we need more love, and we need more working together, not just in Congress, but in the households, in the neighborhoods. I mean, you imagine people shooting their neighbor because their music's too loud, or this, that, the other. I mean, jeez, can we all get along?
And you know, that, just talking about that and what has happened just in our schools this year, you know, the consciousness, you know, it's always about a conscious contact. And, you know, it's so sad, Gwen, that, you know, people keep religions separate from each other when God is one God. You know, and I just pray every day that, you know, this is really what needs to happen. What needs to happen is people need to know that spirituality is God. It doesn't matter what your belief is. We're all one.
What they call it.
Well, and we say one nation under God. So a lot of the anger, we have to remember, when you have a year of the dragon is the rooster, who's very cocky, the snake, who is very seductive. The dragon is a mystical thing, so it's very much of a God being, and then the tiger, so the tiger has fangs. So there's 4 personalities going on in the year of the tiger. So it's not just one like the snake. And the snake is a type of person, because I know this, because I am a snake. We watch you. We don't believe you. We're going to watch you. And you know, one of the greatest things I believe that is going to happen this year is people are going to begin to understand that trust is not a decision, it's a process. And I believe that all the problems in the world begin at home. And even though you may not be able to pray at school, you can pray. And I believe that if more people would just God's talk to their children. I just was dealing with an 18-year-old girl who's going to culinary school. And she was not raised in a Christian. She was not raised in a Christian. And she's been having a lot of problems at school. And this young boy that she's taken up friends with, he has been raised in a Christian home all his life. And this is what he said. He said, don't worry, just pray. And he says, you know, and what God wants for you will come to pass. And in the meantime, all the lessons that we're learning are all a part of God's plan. But we have to be willing to be a part of that, like you said.
Be open to it.
Right, and I really want to encourage people this year to, you know, get into tithing. There is so much wealth to be made in this year, but you must give 10% of that money away. If you belong to a church, give your church 10% of what you earn. If you belong wherever you, and if you see people in need, give in your pocket and don't tell them. This is a year where wealth will come to you, but you must make space. You must make space. So I really encourage people, because that's what love is. That love is, you know, love is effortful. You know, it's not an overwhelming feeling, it's a committed, thoughtful decision. And the only way we're going to stop violence is, I love what Baraka says, there's only so much I can do. You have to be a community and do things together. And that's really what we need to do. And Gwen, we women, as we take over, will do that because we don't live in our ego. We women have to, one thing with women, and this is what I really learned in this year, is that women are insecure because we are taught from God to raise the babies. So the babies stay within us, and then they come out of us, and then we have that gap. So we have to really pull ourselves out of there to go out in the world and to do the domination of what man has done. Now, that's where we're headed. Not that we're not going to have these beautiful families, because the mother will always be a part of the home. But the mother is going to start being called to do bigger things. And this is a big year for the woman. The next 20-some years is going to be huge for this revolution. I love, one of my new clients is starting a nonprofit called Single Moms Revolution. You know, she was a single mom and ended up on the street. And now she's not on the street. She's hired me, and that's another thing I'm doing now. I'm coaching. I'm doing spiritual coaching. And I did her home, and it's amazing. God took her right to her house. She knew it was going to be her house, and everything that's happened to her. So, you know, women, you know.
Yeah, that happened with us too.
Yeah.
Vacant lot that was sitting there, everybody thought it belonged to this other lady, and she wondered why wasn't anybody buying it, and they thought it was, and God was just saving it for us to build on, you know, and we're in the, you know, I share this with people all the time, which is what you're saying, that God actually has a plan for all of our lives, and sometimes, you know, instead of staying on that, you know, if you don't want to call it straight and narrow, but staying on that path that He has laid out for us, we'll do twists and turns, etc. But then something tells us, you know, that something's not right, you know, and until we get back on the path, and, you know, and once we get on the path, then things fall into place, you know, and we keep going, and, you know, blessings flow, blessings flow, blessings flow, and then something happens again, we get off the path, but eventually we get back on the path, because you will not be satisfied, you will not feel at ease, you won't feel that things are as they should be until you're back on that path. Because on that path is where your blessings flow. On that path is where God has really laid out something in terms of your success. And so it's just so important, isn't it?
You know, Gwen, one of the things I really learned this year in my company is I watch people that I work for. You know, people think Feng Shui is spiritual, but it's just not. It's just about numbers. And you know, when you let go of things and you open up a path, it's in China they call it the path of the dragon, and you make space for things. See, people are so, this is one of the concepts that I learned about myself this year. I'm not afraid of fear. I'm afraid of real faith. Because faith is about action. And most people live in constant fear. But when you do Feng Shui and you unblock the clutter, like I tell people when I'm doing their homes, what are you doing with all this excess? You know? And that's what people do, and that's what a lot of wealthy people do. They hold on to things and they become insecure. You know, God is is all-encompassing. He will bring, if you need a million things, he'll bring you a million things. But behind closed doors is where you have to truly work your spiritual life, not in front of others. It's, you know, and I really say that to everybody listening tonight. You know, if you could do one thing in your life to change, you know, change a thought and move a muscle. And this year, ask yourself, what can I do for myself? Because when you love yourself, then you can go, and God said that, you know, if you love yourself, then you can go into the world. And things will be placed at your feet, like you said, like your home.
Yeah.
You know, it just comes to you.
Yeah,
Like my road.
It says in the word that your blessings will run you down.
And they do. They really do. But sometimes there's this, like there was a wall for me for about 6 weeks when my dog was sick, but my road was blocked. My road, I live in Beirut because I live off a hand. So it was blocked and there was nothing. People say, well, you're a master. I said, there's nothing I can do when they're blocking this road. I have to work. As soon as it started unblocking, everything started moving, and I got my biggest job of the year. You know, but the blessing is that we women, I call myself an underbee. You know, and so we get into relationships or we get into work situations, and instead of just shining, we hide ourselves because we're afraid if we don't do that, people won't accept it. People get out and quit hiding. God is a bright light. It's like when Gwen and I were shining this light. He is just this beautiful light that you're walking into. And that's what this year is about. Stand up and be strong, but be wise and loving. You know, love is great, but without wisdom and power, it's worthless.
Oh, absolutely.
Because love has to be directed. It is not a noun. It is a verb. God so loved the world, what did he give us?
Gave his only begotten son.
Exactly. And what he did is he came here to show us that he sacrificed. So there's no sacrifice too great for your brother and sister. You know, Gwen, that's what I love about you, is that you don't. It isn't about you, Gwen. It's about others, but you love yourself. That's the thing I admire about you most, is that you take care of yourself. But because you do that, you can give to others, and that's one thing that people need to change.
Oh, absolutely, because really our insecurity, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because it's not good. It's not working. But you know, you can tell a person that's insecure within themselves.
Absolutely.
That's the person who's the bully, that's the person who's abusive to others and everything else, because they don't feel good about themselves. And until they do, they can't feel good about others, and they can't, until they love themselves, they can't love others. And you know, so they have to work their way through that. And for those though who are not willing to do that, that's somebody that sometimes you need to kind of give them room and give them space and give yourself more room and space as well, because you can, the other thing I've learned is that you can't change people. You cannot change people. What you have control over is you.
That's what I always tell.
So get yourself to the point where if you love that person so much, you're willing to put up with some of the crap. I'm not putting up with beatings and all that kind of, but you know, people are different. We have different personalities.
Right.
You know, decide what you're willing to accept and live with and what you can't. And those things that you can't, you talk to your spouse or whomever about and see if they're willing to go halfway with you, you know, whatever. But understand too that there's some things that about you that they also have to say that they're willing to accept and, you know, work with. It involves taking a risk, really. Living with others involves risk taking, because you might think that you're all perfect and I'm just this, you know, what do they call it, bag of soda and bag of potato chips or whatever they say. But, you know, nobody is perfect. We've all got shortcomings, but we all also have something of value for ourselves and to the world. And to the extent that the world is not willing to take that, accept that, or whatever, you know, I've come to the point where I said, you know, that's their problem, because I'm pleasing him and the man above, and you know, if he's pleased with it and I feel he's pleased with what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and I'm pleased with it, then I'm not going to you know, cause any harm to anyone, but I'm not going to let them force what they believe and how they believe I should be.
And
no, don't let other people define you.
And you say it so well by the name of your program. Stand in your truth.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And in the year of the snake, predominant number in my sector is 4, so it's a year of romance. And you know, people, romance is truly, it's truly about loving yourself. There is no greater romance than God. I love what this priest said one time to one of my best friends. She said, well, you know, Father, do you ever think about sex? He said, of course I think about sex. But he says, when I get to heaven, I'm like, and you know, ladies, don't sell yourself short. You know, I think that's one of the major problems in our world today is, you know, we just give in. You know, it used to be such, to me, sex is a sacred energy exchange between two people who are brought together under the Word of God. And today, women just sell themselves short because they believe that's what the man wants. Well, if that's what he wants, let him go elsewhere. If he really wants that, he'll make sure that he treats you like a lady. So this year, it is a lot, and romance is a major part of what is going to be going on. So, you know, romance yourself. Romance, you know, take care of yourself, love yourself, be healthy. You know, that is the whole key. And romance will come to you, but only if you know how to treat yourself right. And it all goes back to what you call your truth, your show, Gwen. Define your truth and stand in your truth and don't move from it. I allow others their opinions. But what I tell people, that is not the way I believe. You know, like when people are having trouble, I say, well, take a look at who you surround yourself with. You know, who do you have in your home? You know, and I'm not saying that, you know, for me, I think that's one of the businesses of the church, and you know, your husband being a preacher is, he came to save souls. And you know, my soul was saved many years ago because I wasn't the best of best. But I have no problem with that because I had to take that path to get where I am today. And if somebody wants to change, they'll show you. They won't tell you. They won't tell you. They'll show you. And that was one of the greatest assets. My sister's a rep. And she came to see me this year with her best friend. And when she left, she took a hold of my hand. And it really meant the world to me when she said to me, you know, Betty, you have become such a wonderful woman. And she said, you know, the way you take care of yourself, and I'm just amazed how you take care of your home. She said, I wish that a wonderful man would come to you. And it was just, and she's actually retired now, and she's actually, I said, well, why don't you come and stay at my home with your husband for a month or so and use it as a base? So they're coming to visit. So, you know, as you change, and this is not a sister that gives compliments easily, Gwen.
I know, I have a couple of them myself.
But so it was, you know, it was a real tearjerker for me. And then, you know, some of my friends are not in good relationships, and you know, they come to me and they say, Betty, you're so strong. I said, oh no, God is strong.
Yeah.
I have as many temptations as you do, if not more. Trust me. But I said, you know, if you will stand in God's principles, if you know God's principles, you won't falter. And you know, to me, God is just about good orderly direction. So look around your house. What isn't in order? Put it in order. Don't be afraid to. If your finances aren't in order, put it in order. Like, you know, like Barack says, he says, you know, I can't save this world. You people have to come together and start balancing your own checkbooks, you know? And it's the truth. That's what I love about it. And I have to make one comment about Brownie, which I know some of you are probably Brownie fans, but when he started wearing jeans, I just started laughing. I was thinking, and of course they were pressed and they were creased, and because he wanted to be like me, you know, a middle class girl. And you know what? Just be yourself. You know, I'm not impressed by what you wear or who you do. You know, just, you know, the thing I love about our president is he is with us. You know, he has a very stressful job.
What he has on his mama jeans, isn't that what they call them? He has on his suit. You know, I run into people sometimes because people are so used to seeing me all dressed up. And when they see me kind of casual, which I'm hardly ever unless you see me working in the yard. And I even dress sometimes. I'm working in the yard, but that's because I come home that way. But people would say, oh my God, I've never seen you. I've never seen you in workout pants or whatever. It's like, yeah, I did that sometime, you know.
But that's the beauty.
It's like they say, you know, you're like totally out of character. I'm saying, oh, okay, all right. But, you know, I allow that opportunity for being a little different, a little out of character, a little, you know, just because, just be you. And I really, I end up being a little more casual these days than I'm used to, but I enjoy it. I mean, and when I go to work out, I'm standing there and I'm wondering, now, let's see, what can I put on where people will think I'm so out of character? I'm thinking, God, put it on your workout stuff and go for it, you know. And you want to have on all this makeup and this kind of thing. Oh, come on, I'm only going to sweat this. I mean, you know, everybody's human. Everybody has weakness. Everybody's tempted. But
And that's the beauty of a relationship, Gwen.
yeah,
Is when you were talking about everybody thinks they're going to have this perfect relationship. You know, the only thing that's perfect is God.
absolutely.
You know, and though He made us in His image, we are human. And the beauty of a relationship is that that person, I always tell people, you don't draw your opposite girl. You draw who you are.
Mhm.
So when you see that in someone else, it's in you. And that's the beauty of a relationship, is that's how come it's so great to be able to be in a relationship.
Oh,
Because you have to
absolutely.
relate to yourself,
Yeah.
you know?
And you know that right person is a person who completes you.
And you know, I think for me, there are not a lot of people that I look at that are real happy in marriage, but I think our president and Michelle,
Mhm.
I mean, I look at them and you can truly
Oh,
see
absolutely,
the love
absolutely.
and how much he loves her.
And you hear him say, "Oh no, I won't do that with you, Michelle. Michelle, have you seen that lady? She just."
But that's a good
You know,
example.
they know the limits. You know.
They're friends.
And, yeah, absolutely.
They're friends.
Yeah, friends, lovers.
Yes.
You know, the whole
Business.
ball of wax.
Oh, they
I mean,
understand.
they're, yes,
They can talk
yes.
to each other about
Mhm.
anything. And you know, Gwen, that's why I think I love you so much, because you're so open. I remember when I walked up to you and I said, you know, I had said to God, you know, God, I'd love to be on television or radio because I've been on TV. And then Chris introduced me to
Mhm.
you, and you said, when I said Feng Shui, she looked at me like, but what I loved about you was when you left, you said, I'm going to call you.
Uh-huh.
And you know, that's important, people.
Right.
Whatever you do,
And I
keep
did.
your word. And you did. Because we did have a connection.
Yes,
We did have a
absolutely. We
connection.
got together the very next week.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that is the part that nobody can tear apart. When you connect at that soul level, it doesn't matter what you're doing in your
Mhm.
life. You know, you and I will always have that connection. And that's really what's important, people. Whoever you connect with, let them know it.
Yes.
Recognize it in them. Tell them you love them. You know, if they're having a hard time, listen to them. You don't have to have answers for them. Just listen to them.
And it doesn't have to be a friend necessarily. It doesn't have to be someone you've known for a long time. It doesn't have to be a family member. You know when you connect with somebody.
I connected with a woman today at Home Goods, and she said, I'm going to call you. And you know, the other thing, people, there's a lot of people out there on the streets, and I love where I live because I live near Central Park, and there's 7 parks connected. And I ride my bicycle a lot, not so much since the roads are torn up, but there's a girl that's homeless. It's probably in her 20s. And every day I see her, I pray for her. So, you know, these people, instead of talking about them, you know, I know that girl has a mom someplace that might be, or a dad someplace, or a sister or brother, or someone that loves her that may be concerned about her. So, you know, let's get on our knees at night, or let's, when we see these people, say a special prayer that, you know, they will be led to where they need to go. You know, because we're not all that fortunate. You know, and it's so important. It's so important to praise God in everybody. God, even though it doesn't look like it, you know, like that young kid that killed those children, you know, what was in him to go to his mother and shoot her in the foot, and then to go to that school. We don't know, but you know, I said a prayer for him and his family. And I love the gentleman that talked about his daughter. You know, we prayed for them. Our nation, one nation under God, let's pray for our nation every day. You know, get a little bit out of yourself, and when you see these things, and for our political leaders, it's so important. People are always complaining. Well, they're the ones out there in the position. If you don't like it, like you didn't like it, go out and try to change it.
Right.
But you know, prayer changes things. And the other thing I want to share is Anne Hathaway. I love what she's doing in the show. I can never pronounce it. The opera show that's.
Oh, that's miserable.
Oh my
Whatever you
gosh,
call it.
wow.
Yeah.
It is, and it's not about love of man and woman. It's about true love. In fact,
I have to go see that.
Okay,
You know,
Gwen,
my
go
son
see it.
told me about that years ago.
Oh,
He fell in
my
love with that
gosh.
show, and I never really.
This 18-year-old I went with, she said, she couldn't talk afterwards, and I said, well, that's real love. She goes, I've never known her. And I said, oh, you will. But, I can't forget what I was going to tell you. We were talking about love,
And people you met and this, that.
I don't remember, my mind's completely blank. Oh, I know, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
So this is something I was excited about. She literally, she lost 25 pounds to do that role, and I really like her because she married a man whose parents were married 40 years and hers were 30s, and she said, well, you call me a celebrity, that's what you call me, I'm an actress. And she's not into all those things so much. But I love what she's going to do because after seeing this movie, she plays a prostitute. Well, she plays a beautiful young woman that has to prostitute herself. This scene is so beautiful. You will see the darkness, the light going into the darkness, and then the light coming from the darkness. And they literally cut all her hair off in there. So on February 14th this year, she's asking every woman in the world to get up and dance for all women who have been raped. And all the prostitution and all the sexual energy that's gone wrong for all of the world. And she's got most of the countries doing it. So she said, it doesn't matter, just get up at noon and dance. So I'm encouraging women to do that because that's what we really need to do. We just need to dance. No matter what's going on in your life, God is there with you. Enjoy it, even when it's like, feel it, go through it. We're not afraid of it. We are, it's not the pain we're afraid of, it's of going through the pain. And then on the other side, I've always found that God has got a lesson like, the tragic thing is my niece is back using, drugs and going back with an abuser. And one of my friends texted me today about it and he said, well, God's got her. And she's beyond him and help. And I tell you, I can lift her up. So when I think of her as a bright shining star that she's God's child. So, let's get that conscious content. Let's get into the heart. Let's move into the year of who we are. Let's say good things about our president. Let's do something for instead of sitting on
each other and encourage each other.
Hold somebody's hand that needs to be held, or if you see somebody in the grocery store, like a lot of times people are on food stamps and they can't buy certain things, don't even tell them, just run a bill by that person. And you know what? You'll be a better nation for it. And then when you need something, I guarantee you.
It's about paying forward, it's about giving with no thought of receiving.
It's all about giving. And give to yourself. If I could say anything, the year of the water snake, be smart. Use your intelligence, be wise, because through that you can use your power. But women think of power as no, it's the ability to stand strong and be who you are. Instead of being the princess, be the queen. Learn your lessons, be the queen. The mystical part of the woman that's coming out in this year and is really going to start shining is women are going to be on purpose. And you said it, Gwen. Don't do it if it's being blocked. You're only trying to push things that God doesn't want you to do. Get out of situations that you're trying to control and relax. Let God in. And you know what? The world's going to change because we won't send our boys to you. We won't. There will be a lot less things like that going on as we take over as leaders. And not because men are bad, but because that's the way men think a little differently. So women are going to pick up and become in stronger positions. And you're a leader, Gwen. No matter what you try to do, you can try to be small all you want, but you're going to be led to do something, and something big, because that's who you are. So I encourage you to do it, and I encourage all people this year. Love is not about a male or female, it's about God. And so, take some good orderly direction in 2013. Shine the light. Get out of hiding. Quit taking small little bites. Go out and shine and receive. Now go out and tell people what you do for them. Or go out and tell people something nice about themselves. If you see somebody sitting alone at the table, say good morning. Just be kind. And you know what? You want to change.
Absolutely. And when you said say good morning or something like that, because I usually speak to almost anybody. And there are times when you're speaking, nobody speaks back. And I say, oh, well. You know, so when you take the risk, as with saying good morning, and the fact that maybe the person won't say good morning back, you know, but you've done your part. You tried to brighten their day. And I always say to people, smile, smile. I mean, it's a beautiful world. That's your way of saying thank you to God or whatever your spiritual father is, whatever. You know, just smile, just smile. And you'd be amazed as to how many doors it opens, and you'd be amazed as to how it brightens your day and the days of others. I mean, you don't even have to say an encouraging word. Just smile at somebody, and automatically you just brighten some part of them, even if it's just their day. But something you brighten for them just by that little smile that didn't cost you anything, and it fought some wrinkles too, because it takes more wrinkles to frown than to smile.
That's right.
So
That's very true.
So know that that's key and that's important. And I'm going to at this point just say shout outs to all of you who are not complaining about the fiscal cliff solution. It's not what everybody wanted, but it gets us to a better place, okay? And we know there's more to come, but you know, if you think negatively about stuff, then negative stuff will come. So shout out to all of those who received it well. We're going to work together to make things better for us all, because there are some things that we've got to just make some decisions about and do and take action on. So it's time for me to go off, so I'm going to say to you all, Happy New Year to you, Betty. Happy New Year to all of our listeners. This is 2013. It's going to be a fantastic time. Be sure to listen in every Thursday starting at 6:15, or if it puts me on a little bit earlier, every Thursday. And this is Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards, www.gwen-2.com. So you guys just have a joyous day, joyous year. Keep smiling, and God bless.
That light got hot.
Okay. There you go, darling. And thank you. 1 minute.
1 minute till the radio goes on.